Chesley, I'm glad to be here. Catsley, and it's story time. It is Bible story time today. Oh, I know a song I'm going to sing. Joshua did the battle of Jericho, Jericho, Jericho. Joshua did the battle of Jericho. Is that today's lesson? Well, we're going to talk about Joshua, but it's now going to be about the time when he fought the Battle of Jericho. Do you like that song? Oh, I think it's a very good song. I really do enjoy that song. But right now, we're going to tell a different story, and it's going to be after that time. It's in Joshua chapter 10. Joshua chapter 10. That's right. Do I look handsome? Oh, yes, Chesley. I've already made sure that you look handsome. Is my hair looking good? Oh, yes, remember, we've got your wig glued on, much better, and we have hairspray on. Do you need some shaving cream on? You don't need shaving cream. It would look weird, wouldn't it? It would look very weird. Jesse, let's talk about our Bible story right now. And like I said, it is from Joshua chapter 10. You know, what's going on here? Well, you know, Chesley, decisions are very important. When good ones and bad ones. Good decisions, they can make good things for us and others. That's right. But then what about those other kind? Well, the bad ones. It's important that we are very cautious on making our decisions. And this story today, and like it's a real story. This truly happened as Joshua. He was God's chosen man to lead Israel after that the other leader had died. Moses had died, so he's the man that can do it. Does he seek God? Oh yes, he seeks God. He prays but this one time he made a mistake. He didn't pray, and he's in really bad trouble. Good Hampton. That's what we're going to talk about. Here come these people. They were called the Gibeonites. And who's then? Well, that's what we're going to talk about. Here they came and said, or they sent word, we're in serious trouble. Did they do email? No, it wasn't email. See, remember, they didn't have computers. They didn't have email. But they sent a telegram? No, they didn't have telegrams. What they did, they would have like runners. What do you mean? Somebody that was a racer? Well, Jesse, just listen to the story, please. Well, here you do have a runner that he would have the message, and he was to hurry and get to the next city. And so these people was in really serious trouble. And so they said, "Come and help us." Oh, they said, "We need help. We're in bad trouble. And remember, you said you would help us." Well, and so Joshua said, "Yes, he would." Well, he said he would, but he remembered the reason he was having to come into this battle, and who all's going to be there? Well, what the messenger has told him, there's all these kings have ganged up. All these other kings, more than one of them? Oh, yes, way more than one of them, and said, we have to go. But he said, oh, it was all because of a bad decision that he had made. You know, what was that with them? Well, you know, Chesley, he'd had great victories. The Lord had helped him, and they had fought the Battle of Jericho. And God had wondrously brought the walls just came tumbling down. It was miracle after miracle. Well, other people around, these other cities around and countries, word spread. And God was great and wonderful. He could do great miracles, just unbelievable things that only God could do. So they were shaking in their shoes. They were, or their sandals. Yeah, shaking in their sandals. They didn't know what in the world to do, but said, if we could just be friends with them. Well, the Gibeonites and some of the other cities around there, and they got scared. Oh, they got scared, so they said, well, you know what, let's do? Said, here they are now, and we understand their God has given them a Canaan and all, and so we're in serious trouble, so let's just pretend that we're from another country. We're in bad trouble, and we won't be friends with him. And so that's what they did. So they came to Joshua, and what they tell him? We want your help. Well, they came to Joshua, and they just looked terrible. I mean, they were, they didn't have a bath. Well, I don't know. They might have had a bath at some point in time. But anyway, here they were now desperately in need. They said, they pretended, they had on old dirty clothes, and I think they needed a dance. Well, we're not talking about a bath now. They were pretending that they were in serious trouble, and they said that we've heard about you, and we want to be friends with you. Okay, so he had accepted them and said, okay, all right, said, we'll be friends with you, and said, we'll even help you fight your battles. Oh, did they seek God? The thing was, the Bible clearly states they didn't even pray about it. They didn't ask the Lord about it, and they just believed him. They believed him because it appeared so right. They looked so desperate. And that's when Joshua said, well, maybe you're not being honest with me. Oh, they said, we are very honest. See how terrible our clothes, our shoes are all just worn out. Well, anyway, he had made this agreement with them. He said he would just do it no matter what. Oh, he said, we're going to be with you. You can count on us. Well, you know what? About 3 days later, he found out they had lied. Oh, now he's in trouble. Who are they? Well, see, Joshua was new around there, and they didn't know who all of the neighbors were. They weren't very far away. They just were a little ways away. And they made this promise. And they'd done it before the Lord. They said, we will help. Oh, Joshua realized he'd made a terrible mistake. And so God's not going to hear him now. No, God is going to hear him. You know what? That's what we want to stress today. God does not hold something against you forever and ever. Now, that doesn't mean that you just keep making bad decisions. No, we don't want to keep making bad decisions. But we need to know that if we mess up, do wrong, that we can call on the Lord. And you got to be serious. Oh, you got to be serious. You don't want to do it again. That's right. We don't want to do it again. He said, I never dreamed. I didn't even think to pray. But he should have, and he didn't. But now he's in a fix. And he says, now, Lord, what do we do now as this time has come? Now, it's sometime later. And the Lord is going to help him as here all this time comes later. And here they come up and saying, they're in dead trouble and now he's going to do something. You just see about this decision he made, it didn't just affect him, then it was others. It was others. My, here was his whole nation. And here was the families and all. Oh, it was a mess. That God's going to help him. So he didn't sit there and beat himself all the time saying, I did wrong, I'm horrible, I don't have a chance, God, I'm a miserable man, I have been right. He didn't do that. He knew, he felt bad about what he had done, but he knew the love of God. And the Lord was going to help him. And so now at this time, as they begin to go into battle, and so the Lord's going to help him, and God is there, and he's helping them, and they're just a winning and a winning and a winning. Oh, the Lord was helping them, and victory was coming. They were just having a great time as they were winning, It was hard. Yes, they ran into... It's a hard thing being in battle. And when somebody's shooting at you with guns, they didn't have guns then. But, they had other weapons. They had all kinds of weapons. Spears and swords, yes, and they had this machines they had rigged up that would throw rocks and all. And now the Lord is helping. And Joshua, did he have any training? Oh, yes, he had training. The Lord helped him. Did you know, Chesley, that actually Joshua was such a wonderful general that even today, did you know in our war colleges, I'm told that they study the tactics of Joshua. Oh, it's just wonderful. And God gave them to him. God gave those tactics, those ideas to him. Well, and so as they fought, and they couldn't get them all. You had a large army. They were doing the best they could. But here's this army come against him. It wasn't just one army, it was several. They were in a bad fix. And then what happened? God's going to fight for them. God is going to fight for them. Suddenly, did you know there was a hailstorm? No, and it knocked it in the head. Oh, Chesley, we don't know how big those hailstones were, but they were huge. We do know that. The Bible says more people were killed with the hailstones than the soldiers killed. That's it, than the soldiers killed. It was just amazing. And the people, they was trying to get away. And Joshua was thinking, we might have to do this again. He called out to the Lord. I know what he said. He said he needed reinforcements. He said something that it was just amazing. He called out and he thought, I need more time. We need more daylight time. And you wanted daylight savings time. No, just, they didn't have daylight savings time. He said something that seemed really crazy, but he said, son, He told the sun to stand still. He's talking to the sun. Well, he was really actually praying. And he was out, I need the sun to stand still. And he said, and the same thing for the moon. You stay over there where you are. And he said, don't move. He told the solar system that. I tell you what, the Lord listened to him. And it was God's plan too. He agreed with him. And so God caused it to happen. And that's right. The sun and the moon stood still. And for about a day, the Bible said. And they kept winning and winning. They kept winning and winning. Wow, what a tremendous thing it was. Can you imagine when that was over with? And I think, you know something? And did he say, did this really happen? It was just so impossible, but yet it had happened. Some people, I don't think they believed it. Oh, there's some people say those are just stories. Those are truth stories. And it's down how big God is. It's about how big and how good he is. Chesley, I'm so thankful he can help us in our situations. We may not need the sun and the moon to stand still, but we need the Lord to help us in lots of situations. And what about kids when they need help in a lesson? Oh, God can help us with our lessons. And then you don't have to study. Oh, Chesley, we do have to study. It's a very wrong decision to think we don't have to study, we just pray. No. The Lord helps us as we study and we pray, can help us to study, can help us to learn. And think about it and not forget it. And not forget it, yes, can help us. And if you don't study, you can't count on it. If you didn't study, you wouldn't want to count on it. We need to have good friends. Be careful about the friends that we make. Just many decisions that we have all through life. And I think you need to think about going to bed. I don't think I want to think about that because it makes me sick. Oh, it doesn't make you sick. Oh, I just hate this. I like to flirt with the girls. I know you want to flirt with the girls, and I need to tell a Bible story. I know it's good to tell Bible stories, and you just did it. So now you're going to bed. Is anybody looking at this? Yes, here it is. Is looking, I see that right there, and Belinda, the pastor's wife. Oh, I hope they're making good decisions. That's a good decision to listen to me. Well, that's right, it's a good decision to listen to you, because I have good stories. Yes, because you have good stories, because they're God's Word. And I think you're kind of doing a little stall job on me here. Oh, I don't want to go to bed, I'm scared in that trunk. You know something, you was so late getting me out. I thought you forgot. Chesley, I didn't forget you. We just had things going on here. Yeah, I know what, you was sleeping. No, I wasn't sleeping. I was studying and other things. Other things besides getting me out of the trunk. But Chesley, you've been out and now you're going to bed. I just hate it in that trunk. You know something? I think there's a spider. No, Chesley. It's one thing after another. I think you need to call one of them pest control. We don't need pest control. I think you're kind of a pest now. You're wanting to stall around. Because wouldn't you, if you had to get stuffed in that trunk, Chesley, you're going to do well. So you just tell everybody goodbye. Just tell everybody goodbye, Chesley. Just tell it's not you getting in that crazy trunk. It's all cramped up. I need a bigger one. No, you're not going to get a bigger trunk. How would we carry that big thing and put it in our car? Always thinking about you, and what about little old me, Chesley? It's another stall job. Tell everybody goodbye. The time to the happiest now, and it's to the happiest here. Chesley, now let's see, I'm in a good mood now. Well, I know you're in a good mood, but I'm in a good mood too. I'm in the good mood here to sit you down here, and so that you'll be back later. And now we're going to close out. We're so happy you were here with us today, and so we say goodbye until next Sunday afternoon. You have a great, great rest of the day.